What is going on? It is Nate the Game Guy coming back with another video at hand, and today I want to create a very helpful and useful video for a lot of game collectors out there, and that is a complete collecting buying guide for the Wii U. As you can see, right behind me is my complete North American Wii U set. Now, I don't own all the variants for the Wii U, but in terms of every game that was ever released on physical format in North America, I own every game ever released A through Z, right? So when I was trying to collect for the Wii U, I noticed that there was a lot of information that wasn't readily available and was actually quite difficult for me to find, right? So, as someone who's completed the set, and who has started a game collecting channel within recent times, I figured I would lend out a helping hand to the game collecting community and offer my guidance, my assistance, and a few of my tips when it comes to buying and collecting for the Wii U. In this video, I will plan to go over a little bit of things to look out for, some of the history of the Wii U, some of my personal favorites, favorite games on the Wii U, along with other things to look out for in terms of collecting, buying, and along with my own personal opinions when it comes to the overall background of the Wii U. So with that being said, let's get started. Alright, so the first thing I should mention in this video as I get started along are the console variants, right? So with the Wii U, there are two main console variants. There's the white model, which is also known as the 8GB model, and then there is the black model, which is known as the 32GB model. If you plan to use a Wii U and play it, which I recommend that you should, because there are fun games on the Wii U, some of which that haven't been ported to the Switch yet, and in my opinion, the Wii U is a very underrated system and still enjoyable to play, I would recommend picking up a black 32GB model of the Wii U. The 8GB model, unfortunately, will fill up pretty fast when it comes to games, save files, all that stuff, right? So unfortunately, since it will fill up fast, I would strongly recommend that you get the black 32GB model. Also, in terms of console variants, there's one other variant which is not really a main variant, but it is a variant nevertheless, and that is the black Legend of Zelda Wind Waker model. Now, this obviously was a special edition variant for when the Wind Waker HD remake came out for the Wii U. Now, the console itself just looks like any other Wii U, black Wii U console, right? However, what makes it special is the fact its gamepad is themed off of the Wind Waker, where it's got the Wind Waker designs in gold, yellow, depending on what color you want to define it as, it's on the gamepad. Also, when it comes to picking up game consoles and collecting for the Wii U, make sure when you buy the Wii U that it comes with the gamepad. Unfortunately, if you buy a Wii U that comes without the gamepad, you're actually not really going to be able to use it because the gamepad is basically required to navigate through the menus. Some games will require you to use the gamepad. It's just going to be a massive headache. So when you are collecting for the Wii U, just want to let you know there's a very good reason as to why when you get the Wii U or shop online for the Wii U, and if you stumble across a Wii U which doesn't come with the gamepad, but you're thinking you're getting a smoking deal on it, there's a reason as to why it's priced so low. Definitely pick it up with the gamepad, or otherwise you will be paying quite a bit of money later down the line just to buy another gamepad for your Wii U, which didn't come with the gamepad. So make sure it comes with that gamepad when you buy a Wii U. Alright, so before continuing on with the video, this is absolutely worth getting out of the way first, and that is when you are shopping for a Wii U console, keep in mind there have been reports recently that after people who haven't used a Wii U in years or a long period of time, they're running into error codes, which unfortunately can cause problems with the system, and it can even brick the system, which happens to deal with its internal memory. So for more detail about that, I will be linking a video in the description below from Spawnwave where he does go into more detail about the problem. But a big tip that I do want to give in mind for those that are actually going to go out and actually buy a Wii U, I recommend buying from a source where, you know, you'll be able to get some sort of return policy. Like if it doesn't work, you just send it back, right? In this case, because obviously of the internal memory issue, obviously you'll be able to play it, check it out, make sure if it's good. If it isn't good, just, you know, mail it back, return it to the store, all good. Have an exit strategy because it does seem to be a bit of an issue. Obviously not saying this to scare people off from buying a Wii U or jumping into collecting for Wii U, but it is worth mentioning just to keep in mind with what's going on. Alright, so now we're jumping into accessories. So with accessories, it's pretty straightforward with the Wii U, right? There aren't really a whole lot of crazy accessories with a few exceptions, which we'll get into in a moment. And the first accessory I'll talk about is the Pro Controller. Now, the Pro Controller was supported by a handful of games when it came to the Wii U's library, and obviously you can tell that Nintendo was really trying to attract the hardcore audience of gamers with this accessory. It was themed off of other competing game consoles controllers such as the 360, PlayStation, so on. It was obviously a pretty fun controller to use. It's actually a pretty cool design. Now, since the Wii U is obviously backwards compatible with the Wii, it's obviously going to be no surprise that it is compatible with most Wii accessories, right? So it's going to be compatible with the Wii Remote, the Nunchuck, the classic controller, right? It's not going to be, or at least I would imagine that it's not going to be compatible with a lot of the more obscure Wii accessories. Now, of course, the first-party Nintendo licensed Wii accessories are obviously going to be fully compatible with the Wii U. Now, here's where we get to the interesting stuff with Wii U accessories. So, one of them to talk about is the GameCube adapter, which came out when Smash Brothers came out for the Wii U. And this move was made by Nintendo to help appeal more to the Smash audience, hence why a lot of Smash players do enjoy using GameCube controllers. So not only was the GameCube adapter released for the Wii U from Nintendo, but Nintendo for a while also brought back GameCube controllers back on the market. But only this time they had the Smash Brothers logo in the center of these controllers, and they only came in the color black. So unfortunately, the original GameCube controllers with that nice GameCube logo placed in the center with the indigo color and all that stuff, that unfortunately did not come back. But of course, continuing on with interesting accessories, it actually had multiple special edition Wii remotes come out during that time, mostly themed off of Mario. So you had like a Super Mario themed Wii remote, Luigi, Bowser, Peach, Toad, so on, right? And all these actually had the Wii Motion Plus built into them, which was pretty cool. And also these Wii remotes were obviously compatible with a regular Wii as well. Now, talking about more of the more collectible accessories for the Wii U, is obviously easy to mention the Amiibos. People obviously jumped all over the Amiibo bandwagon. I wasn't one of them, even though I do own one Amiibo in my collection. But the Amiibo actually did work out with a few games here and there on the Wii U, mostly Smash Brothers, but there were other titles too, such as Animal Crossing, Amiibo Festival, and such. And the Amiibo was actually a pretty cool accessory where it was like in Smash Brothers, you could use the Amiibo scan on your gamepad, and it would be kind of like your wingman on the game or whatever, right, as a computer player. And then it would actually save like stats or whatever. It was actually a pretty cool accessory. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the Hyperscan, except it's a lot more enjoyable than the Hyperscan. When you are looking for collectible accessories for the Wii U, the ones to look out for are going to be the Amiibos. They're a cool concept. I can understand why they are collectible, but that is definitely worth keeping in mind when you are going to be looking for collectible accessories for the Wii U. All right, so here's the fun part when collecting for the Wii U, is the things to look out for when collecting for the games, right? So, when I was actually collecting for my Wii U set quite a while ago, there were two games that I ran into in particular that I did have some issues with, and that was Lego Marvel Superheroes and Sniper Elite V2. The interesting thing that I gotta let everybody know with these two games, especially for those that are going to be the collectors that want to have everything as complete as possible, meaning that it's got like the manual, the case, the disc, all that stuff. It is complete in box. Interestingly, these two games actually don't come with inserts or manuals of any kind. It's just the case, the disc, boom, that's it. And the reason how I found this out was that I had to look up unboxing videos from like 10 plus years ago on YouTube to make sure that, okay, there's a reason why every listing that I'm finding online or on eBay or whatever doesn't have these inserts or manuals, right? So if you are going to be collecting complete in box for Wii U, that is something to keep in mind, that these two games do not have any inserts, manuals of any kind whatsoever. Now, here's the other thing that's worth mentioning when collecting for the Wii U, these are the rarest games to look out for. Now, interestingly, with the Book of Unwritten Tales 2, that one actually used to be the most expensive game for the Wii U for the longest time. And I've seen it like up there at like $300, $400 a game, complete in box, right? So when I actually checked the game just a little while ago before I decided to record this scene, I'm seeing the game go for about $200, $190, $250. So the game has dropped in price in terms of its collectability. Interestingly, I do see that Devil's Third happens to be the more collectible one now, where I've seen prices getting pretty close to that $300 mark complete in box. Now, it is worth mentioning that the last game is probably at no surprise on one of the rarest games for the Wii U, and that is Shakedown Hawaii, because that game came out after the Wii U's life cycle, after the Wii U officially ended production in 2017. And Shakedown Hawaii has two variants, where it's got the special edition and then the regular edition. And it should come as no surprise that literally the last game released for the game system happens to be one of the rarest. After all, hence we're talking about a game that wouldn't really sell that well to begin with, since it's literally at the end of the console's life cycle. So when it comes to collecting these games and things to look out for when collecting Wii U games, these are some of the rarest games to collect for, and as I mentioned before, there are actually two games that don't come with inserts or manuals. So when it comes to the Wii U's 166 game library in North America, the Wii U unfortunately did not have very strong third-party support. While it did have decent third-party support in the beginning during its launch and sometime in 2013, overall, its entire lifespan did have weak third-party support, mostly because the console was very difficult for third-party programmers to create games and port games over, especially with the gamepad, so it did unfortunately hurt the Wii U quite a bit in the 5-year lifespan. However, with the Wii U, many of its heavy-hitter exclusive titles, such as Bayonetta 2, Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, Pokken Tournament, were eventually ported over to the Switch. But it is worth noting, when it comes to exclusive titles, that the Wii U still has games that have not been ported over to the Switch as of the recording of this video that are worth checking out, some of which, as you can see at the moment. And when it comes to one of my personal recommendations when it comes to the Wii U's library, now granted, the Wii U was a console that I personally didn't spend a whole lot of time on during 8th gen, but it was a console when I did pick up and play, I did have fun in playing it. Now, this one title did eventually get ported over to the PS4 and Xbox One in 2015, approximately 3 years after its original launch on the Wii U, and being a Wii U launch title, and that is Zombie U. Now, interestingly, when this game was ported over to the Xbox One and PS4, they just dropped the U and just called it Zombie. Now, the reason why I recommend playing this game on the Wii U, and thankfully this isn't a rare title, it is a pretty common title when it comes to the Wii U's library. Now, interestingly, when it comes to this game, you are trying to survive out in the London area during a zombie apocalypse, and you have the prepper who is trying to help you survive and get basic needs and necessities taken care of and keep you safe out in the streets of London during a zombie apocalypse. Now, with this game, it takes full advantage when it comes to the gamepad, and in my opinion, it is worth playing with the gamepad. Now, granted, this game is still enjoyable on the One and the PS4, but to me, I just felt like going through your inventory on the gamepad gave the game an experience that unfortunately couldn't have been captured on the Xbox One and the PS4. It just felt more in depth, more interactive, and it just felt like an overall better experience on the Wii U. So when you are picking up a Wii U, that is my personal recommendation of a game that is absolutely worth playing on the Wii U. So when picking up a Wii U, there are still games that are worth checking out, playing, and picking up, but also being someone that wants to play some pretty good titles. Alright, and that will conclude my collecting and buying guide for the Wii U. Now, in the description down below, I will be posting a link for a complete checklist for all 166 games in the Wii U's North American library. Not only will it include all the games, but it will include also all the variants of all 166 games. Now, this is the same checklist that I used for my collection right behind me for my complete set for the Wii U, so I can confirm that it will actually help you guys out, right? So feel free to give this video a like if you enjoyed. Helps boost the video up in the YouTube algorithm so more collectors and viewers can find videos just like this. Feel free to comment below if you have any thoughts that you feel like sharing, and feel free to subscribe so you can watch more content just like this when it comes to game collecting and just games in general. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will be seeing you guys next time.